Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome to a new adventure, an experiment, an exploration, if you like, into lower back pain. Now, I've suffered from lower back pain for a long time in various ways and degrees of nastiness. It's that lower back right at the bottom, and it's not just an ache and a pain, it's debilitating. It can cost you months of your life. It can be sciatica down the legs as well. It completely incapacitates you, makes you useless and a waste of space, and I've had enough. I've had enough. Yes, I have. As far as my situation goes, I do have a herniated disc down here somewhere, a slip disc, if you like, and every now and again it flares up, and that's it. That's me gone for a bit. It's immensely frustrating, infuriating, drives me nuts, as well as being flipping painful. And I've got to do something about it. I have to. I'm 50 this year. I've got a young family. I've got things I want to do. I want to move forward into the future without having to worry about my back. I mean, it's something that I manage. I manage the pain. I manage the things I have to do in order to get around it, because I don't have it all the time. But then, well, every year I have some trouble. Every couple of years I have a really bad episode like I'm having just at the minute. And it's that's prompted me to think, I can't believe I'm back here again. How am I back here again? Now, I've been looking into this for a long time. Every time I find myself flat on the floor, I spend some time researching into pain relief and ways of getting through it and getting past it. And I know that there's no magic cure. Sure, there's surgery, perhaps. There's hot stones, there's acupuncture, things like that. But they're not things that I really believe are actually going to ultimately cure me. Don't think there is a cure. It's about managing it. And for me, that seems to be about finding a way of stretching and being flexible and fit enough to push away the possibility that my back's going to fail. That's the sort of thing that I'm after. Now, I know in my brain the problem is that every time this happens, I then start a regime of stretching. I follow a course of stretching, of physiotherapy, of yoga-based, Pilates-based, some form of something or other, which really helps move me along to recovery, which inevitably happens because your back recovers. It just does. Even if you do nothing, it will recover. But I want more than that. I want to recover and stay recovered. But every time I start this thing, as soon as I get better, as soon as I start feeling better, I start going, well, I don't really need to do that anymore. I'm all right now. And it slips and it slides, and I find myself back in the same place, 12 months later, 2 years later. I have to sort this out. And so this here is my attempt to sort that out. What am I doing exactly? Well, I'm a writer, reviewer, videographer, YouTuber of music technology gear, of synthesizers and bleepy bloopy machines. I write about it, I make videos about it, I explain difficult concepts and demonstrate gear. That's what I do. And so when it comes to committing to something, of trying to do something properly, one of the ways that really encourages me to do that is to do it on film. It's to do it on video. It's to somehow engage with the world out there in such a way that it will encourage me to continue, either through some form of stranger accountability or just pure obligation. And I need something which is going to harness me into the task of sorting out my back. So I figured perhaps there's a way I can do this which is going to be helpful to other people in a similar situation, because there's a lot of us about. Once I started talking about this online, I discovered that nearly everybody suffers from back pain, and everybody's got their own way of managing it. So maybe I thought I could run a little channel which looks into reviewing and examining all the different ways that you can sort your back out from the position of a bloke with back pain. I'm not a medical professional, I'm not an athlete, I'm not a fitness instructor, I'm not one of those beautiful people in those beautiful videos doing beautiful, flexible, yoga-like things. That's not me. I'm a bloke in a shed with a back. It's giving him trouble. So I figured I could take my abilities at explaining and unpacking and reviewing stuff and apply those to the industry of back pain management and flexibility. And the point is, I think ultimately, that any form of exercise that's focused on the stretching and maintaining of posture and flexibility is ultimately going to help. It's all going to help. The difficulty is maintaining it. The difficulty is keeping at it and not letting it slide. Because I have to do this now forever. If I want to have another 10, 20, 30 years of activity, I've got to persevere. I've got to keep at it. So that's the plan. Now there's some provisos. It has to fit in my space. I've got enough space to put a mat on the floor and stretch my arms out. That's about it. I've got a rug's worth of space. I don't have one of these wonderful, studio spaces with willowy curtains and stuff going on. No, it's got to fit in here, right? And it can't be more than half an hour a day. I can fit in half an hour a day. I can't really do much more than that. So once a week I'll do a vlog, tell you how I'm doing, what my current status is, how's it going with whatever bizarre form of exercise I'm doing this week, and just keep it going. I'll do each one for, say, a month and do a review at the end and then move on to something else. Of course, it's never going to be completely fair, because as I go along, I should ultimately get better at what I do as I go. So the first one that I review, I'm going to be very, very stiff, as I currently am, whereas one in 6 months' time should hopefully be a lot easier. But we'll see. It's all relative, isn't it? And hopefully it's helpful to some degree. Now, I am reasonably fit. I do actually hold a black belt in Kung Fu, but don't assume for a moment that that means I regularly beat up 20 ninjas in a weekend, just for fun, or I've had to survive in some terrible island fighting off wild animals. No. A black belt really just comes through time and persistence. But I do that for an hour a week. And an hour a week is not enough. It's not enough for this. I need to be doing something every day. And so that is what I'm pursuing in this endeavour. So that's a plan. I've made a start already. I'm a few weeks into using something called Kaya Health, which is sort of a yoga-based stretching app that's on my iPhone that I've been following. And it's pretty good. I'll be doing a review of that in another week or two. I'm not out of the woods. I'm still currently got back pain that I'm taking drugs for. I need to get to the point, I think, where I'm no longer taking painkillers and I'm flexible enough to engage with something a bit more strenuous. So I'm still on the road to recovery at the moment, but hopefully this is the last time I'm having to climb out of this hole, because from now on in I'm going to be some kind of superstar, exercising, stretching, flexing, being flipping awesome every day of the week. Well, We'll see how that goes. I'd be delighted if you'd come along with me to encourage me to join in the conversation, or to be helped by what I hope to show you. And I promise that I'll keep at it as long and as hard as I can, and I promise I won't take my shirt off. I don't think there's much of that going on. And just to put out there that I'm honestly a person in pain. And so this is not going to be pretty. It's not going to be me doing awesome push-ups and flexing muscles and looking fantastic. No, it's me sweating and swearing and shouting and not being able to touch my toes, not being able to do anything. Yeah, because that's the reality of back pain and sciatica pain, is that you are destroyed and distraught and debilitated. Because you can't do these things. That's part of what I'd like to examine and show with these fitness regimes, that if you can't even touch your toes, what hope is there for you? We shall see. I mean, I've already come on a long way. I'm about 6 weeks into this particular episode, which means I'm round the corner and coming out the other side now, which is great, because there was a while there that I thought this is just the end. It's the end for me. Can't be doing with it anymore. So please follow along. I'm calling this Molten Motion because everything else I do has molten in it for reasons which are not going to become clear at the moment. So Molten Motion, that's the idea. That's what I'm going for. Follow us along. Subscribe on the YouTube channel, that kind of thing. I might come up with a web page and a Facebook page at some point. Who knows? But for the moment, I'm just ploughing forward with the YouTube channel. See what happens. And if you're into synthesizers, then do join me on my main channel, where there's loads of people on there doing stuff. This is a little side project. So that'll do. And in the meantime, look after your back.